Well, that did not take long, did it, ladies and gentlemen? From the time that a kid won $3 million in a Fortnite tournament to the time where someone wrote about the fact that there was not one woman in the Fortnite tournament. In the Fortnite tournament? What am I, dyslexic? In the Fortnite tournament. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another video. You know what's up. I'm here to bring you this this special preview of what's going on in 2019 and how we cannot have just normal conversations about how the world operates for some reason. Not one of the Fortnite World Cup 100 finalists was a woman. Why? You want Keith Stewart, do you need a whole article to know why? It's because the top 100 of the kids, the best ones in the game, were guys. That's it. Case closed. And they weren't just men, they were kids as well. How, how come the top 100 finalists weren't just all adults or all kids, or, why were, like, this is so dumb. Why aren't there, women in the NFL? It's mind-boggling that we have to have these conversations in 2019. All right? Now, what's the statistics behind how many people tried out for this tournament, how many of them made it? Obviously it was the top 100, and then from there that means that, it's a battle royale of 100 people, so the one last game there were just 100 guys. And you know what, so be it. Girls, step your game up. That's it. Y'all want to be gamers, step your game up. And that's all it is to it. The top 100 were a bunch of guys because they were better than everyone else. And it didn't matter what you were. That's it. That's the top 100. Those are the ones who made it. And I don't know why this is so shocking to people. Like, yo, get over it. Not only has gaming been predominantly like a guy thing, and I know times are changing. 2019, you go on Twitch, there's a lot of girls playing video games, and God bless, man. More power to parents letting both their boys and their girls grow up and play video games or whatever they want to do. But if there's a tournament and that tournament has a certain demographic, it's irrelevant if it was a playing field of everybody had the same playing field to get in. Did guys have an advantage? Did they start off with more points? Was there a handicap? No, there was none of that. So then what's the problem? What is really the problem? This weekend, the best Fortnite players in the world gathered at Flushing Meadows in New York to compete in the game's first ever World Cup finals for $30 million in prize money. And you know what? I'm obviously playing the wrong game. I love Ghost Recon, I love Ubisoft games, I love games like Red Dead and all that, and obviously I've been playing the wrong game. I've been vocal about not liking Fortnite because it's a building game. You win that if you're the best builder. So I don't know if I want to sit there and learn this game to be the best builder so I could win $30 million in cash prizes. It's just insane, absolutely insane. Amid all the hype and fanfare around the finals, however, one depressing fact remained unavoidable. Not a single one of those 100 finalists were female. Now, why, Mr. Keith Stewart? Why is that depressing? Why is that a depressing fact? Why? Because it's 2019 and this type of BS is popular? It's not depressing. 100, you know what would be depressing? If someone got to that finals because they were a girl, or because they were a guy and they were pushed in. If you are on Twitter and you follow IGN and all these things, and they try to push this BS, and it's up to the gaming community, and you know what, I'm talking to the girls out there too, I'm talking to the ladies, to the women out there who are gamers, regardless of your age, regardless how long you've been playing. No one should want special treatment because of their sexuality, because of their race or ethnicity. Like, it shouldn't matter. You either get good or you get got. Plain and simple. So, despite the growing popularity of professional gaming throughout the world, the audience figures for competitive gaming have reached 450 million this year. Yeah, a lot of people play video games. Female competitors remain scarce. Do female competitors remain scarce, or is it because they're just not as good as the guys? Because, yo, I go on Twitch You go Fortnite, there's guys and girls. You scroll down, guys and girls everywhere. Pick one, follow it. Just because the girls can't compete, that doesn't mean anything. I'm sure there are girls out there. Eventually, a girl's going to win if they keep holding these tournaments, or maybe not. Maybe they're just not as good at gaming. Maybe they're not putting in enough hours. Maybe they don't take it seriously. You know, who knows? There's so many things to discuss about this that, a 16-year-old kid won. You know why? Because probably for the past 2 years, he's been playing video games all day, every day. No responsibilities. You realize that, right? The people who win these games are people who are doing this for a career. You know, why didn't Joe Schmo, who has a 9-to-5 and 3 kids, win? Obviously because he can't get as good as these kids who play 10 hours a day. There's certainly a high-profile examples of female pros. Trans women, Sasha Scarlett. One of the most successful StarCraft 2 players in the world, Catherine Mystic Gunn, is industry's highest paid female pro gamer and won the Sci-Fi Channel's reality TV show, Ultimate Gamer. This isn't because women and girls aren't playing games. The latest figures from the Entertainment Software Association shows that 46% of gamers are women, which is just who cares about, the percent of whatever. Like, people are gaming, but I guess that makes sense, right? If upwards of 50% of all gamers are women, which honestly, that sounds like a made-up figure. That sounds like a made-up stat. Honestly, out there, guys and girls, do you really think that almost half of the gamers in the world are women? Like it's equal like that? I mean, come on. Oh, come on now. Even if it is, 54-46, that sounds like a high statistic to but I could be wrong. Maybe a lot of young women are entering gaming or whatnot, but just from what I knew growing up and everything, girls weren't into games as much as guys were. That was the fact of the day. There were not that many girls who enjoyed video games. The easy answer is because no women qualified. Yeah, why aren't we seeing that reflected in Fortnite World Cup? No women qualified. Ladies, step your game up. Let's go. The heats were entirely open and held online over 10 weeks. 10 weeks for everybody to make it into this. More than 40 million players competed with no restrictions on age or gender. Boom, there you go. And the top 100 were men. Sorry, you can't do anything about that. That's just how things go. The pro gaming scene likes to present itself as a meritocracy where the pure talent is all that matters. The world should be a meritocracy. This may be true in terms of the abstract qualifying rules, but the real issue goes deeper, and it's about why women are underrepresented across the esports spectrum. They're not underrepresented, all right? They're not. There's no such thing as underrepresentation if the best get to the top and the best are the ones who win. That's it. Partly, and you know what? I'm going to catch a lot of flack. I know I have a small channel, so it doesn't matter, and I'm going to catch a lot of flack for this. But, people have to speak out about this, both men and women, all right? No one wants to see people get pushed to the top of anything because of a certain attribute that they have. No one. Because that's BS. Everybody should want the best of the best at the top. And if you can't crack that, so be it. You don't think every man growing up sits there and ones who want to be athletes and have their hopes and dreams crushed when they don't make it? Why didn't you make it? Because you weren't good enough. So that's it. You figure that out once you become a young adult. Am I good enough to do this, and this? And half the time, no, you're not. We don't need this type of stuff in the world. Wondering why the top 100 were this or why this was this. That's the way it was because that's who the best were at that time. In this competition, the top 100 people were all guys ranging from all different ages. And a 16-year-old won. So be it. Like I said, you think it's fair for the guy who's older, who didn't have enough time to put in because he has a job and kids? You think he's there? Well, why did a 16-year-old win? That's not fair. Like, you go down this rabbit hole, it never ends. Partly it's down to the culture of hardcore video game communities, which are overwhelmingly dominated by young men. That contradicts your stat. Trash talk is a standard of most online competitive games. Trash talk is a standard. Trash talk is a standard. Trash talk is a standard in the game of life. okay? The game of life we all go through, from the ages of being a little kid to being old. Trash talk, talking ish. That's what life is all about. To grow some thick skin. Trash talk is a standard in most online competitive games and can often cross over into misogynistic insults. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, if you're a girl and you're gaming, you're going to get a misogynistic insult. If you're playing Call of Duty and it's a bunch of guys, and you're the guy with a kill death ratio of 0-10, like you got destroyed 10 times, you got 0 kills, you are going to get destroyed by the rest of your team in player chat. That's it. You're getting called out. You suck. You're trash. Just give up on life. Kill yourself, etc., etc., etc. The worst of the worst. You know, Call of Duty chat, etc. Whatever chat is, it could get bad, man. It could get bad. And it's no different if you're a woman. It's going to get bad. The worst slurs and insults are going to get thrown at you. What do you need to do? Grow some thick skin. That's it. Mute people. Mute, 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 mute. That's it. Rare is the female gamer who plays with unrestricted voice chat, even when they're simply playing online with a group of strangers. Women players are sometimes belittled and objectified, their abilities constantly questioned. Meanwhile, the sponsorship and marketing of events is highly focused on male viewers. It's all energy drinks. Energy drinks are only guys drink that? That's sexist. And ads for ridiculously macho gaming joypads. A macho gaming joypad? Really, bro? Toss me a link. Show it to me. Not that it can't be directed towards men, but boys are the ones who play this stuff. Guys play video games. It's a market predominantly filled up by men. And come on, man, like you're not saying anything here. There's no like wow moment here. This is all just stuff we already know. When women do compete, they can find themselves under disproportionate and unwelcome scrutiny. In June, a 15-year-old girl entered a tournament in New York around the Nintendo game Super Smash Bros. And promptly beat a top pro player. There you go, good job. She was subsequently hounded and bullied online by his fans. The block, or stay off Twitter or whatever for a little while until things cool down. Because you know what? Everybody gets shit on online, whether it's Twitter, Instagram. You can't go anywhere being successful without the other side of that coin, which is haters. There's haters everywhere. The great philosopher Notorious B.I.G. spoke about this back in his album Life After Death. I mean, come on, man. More money, more problems. Tweeting under her gaming tag, Bocce, she claimed to be considered leaving the tournament circuit because of the abuse she received. Hence, here lies the difference. Here lies the difference between, and this isn't a difference between guys and girls. This is the difference between people who know how the world works and people who don't. People with thick skin and people with thin skin. You want to be successful in any area of life, you're going to be hounded by people who are going to shit on you continuously. And you have to not take yourself out of anything that you're good at because there are haters out there. F the people out there who are that type of people, abusing people, just the haters out there. Nobody should get behind that type of stuff, but you have to have thicker skin than that. But come on, man, you're going to take one instance of a girl getting harassed and ignore the fact that everyone gets harassed? What makes her special in this case? Because she's a girl. Therefore, you're treating her different than everyone else. You don't think you don't think this kid's going to get harassed? You don't think everybody out there who plays online look at my channel right now. Go to all my videos. If you've been with me for a while, I got maybe like a couple hundred subs. Everything is cool. We talk, we communicate through the comments. Everything is chill. It's really nice. Let my channel pop off. Let me get 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. You don't think you're gonna have people in the comments, F you, blah blah, you're full of it, you don't know, you're trash, da da da. That happens everywhere. You cannot avoid that. And to bring up this case like, oh, this is why women aren't succeeding in video games because they're being abused in chat. Get off it, man. Get off that. That is nonsense. That is nonsense. If you're a woman and you're getting abused in chat, mute, report, Just like if you were a guy and you're getting abused in chat, mute, report. You don't have to sit there and take that. This is a long-standing problem in 2016 when BBC interviewed pro gamer Steph Harvey for its 100 Women series. She stated, "It's still a boys' club, so as women you're automatically judged for being different." That might be true, but you know what? It's also an elitist club. You will get abused for sucking. Like I said, be a guy, play a multiplayer game and suck, and see if the other players on your team or in that game don't completely annihilate you for being trash. They will. In some ways, the lack of female pro players also reflects an imbalance in traditional sports. Most surveys show that teenage girls drop out of competitive sports at a 1.5 to 2 times rate of the boys. But why is that shocking? We're getting to the point where we're blurring the lines here. All right? Boys like that type of stuff. And if you're going to say, oh, well, that's sexist, girls like it too. Yeah, and those are the girls who don't quit. But the ones who do, you don't think, I mean, come on, 1.5 to 2 times the rate of boys. All right. That means they don't want to do it. Including fewer opportunities, safety issues, social stigma, and lack of positive role models. Yeah, well, look at your role models. The female women's team just won soccer, right? What was all the hype about? About Trump, about her kneeling for the national anthem and all that political BS. Why don't you take your platform and be a good voice for girls to get into sports instead of the news being littered with, oh my God, you kneeled for the national anthem? One solution has been to set up female-only leagues and competitions, allowing young women players a less toxic environment. Here we go. So the answer to women not winning is segregation. You want to segregate women from men so women can have their own tournament and men can have their own tournament. You know how ridiculous that sounds? You know how dumb that is? Women can compete. They could do just fine in something that doesn't take physical attributes. I'm not trying to see a woman play football with a 250-pound, 10% body fat, 6'4" grown man. Yeah, you could have your own football league. But this is video games. If girls aren't doing their thing right now, give them a chance. This is just starting to blossom. Video games, esports, online competitive play. We're at its infancy right now. It was only a decade ago where we were just playing SOCOM and it was the first game on console for online gameplay. And I think, we had Quake and Doom and all that in the 90s and Counter-Strike, but this is just starting to get good now. So give it some time. Stop trying to segregate people into areas because the demographics aren't equal across the board. This is the type of political BS that needs to stay out of gaming, and I wish more people stood up to it and said, no, girls are doing just fine. Yeah, there were none in this competition, there'll be some in the next. And if not that one, there'll be some in the next. Because they're going to keep playing, they're going to get better, and they're eventually going to hit the top. And if not, and if they can't, well then, segregate them. I'm wrong. I'm the odd man out here, Gee, you should shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. However, this has proved controversial, with some seeing sex-based partitioning as a means of sidelining and undervaluing women players. I agree. Unlike in traditional sports, there are no physical differences to play and to justify gender segregation. I agree. I just said that. Look at that. There's a lingering belief that young men are simply better at games than women. It's not lingering. Right now it's being shown, right? If women can't compete, guys seem to be better than girls at video games. Who knows? Maybe it's hand-eye coordination. Maybe there is a physical connection with gaming, with the mouse and the keyboard. Who knows? Maybe we need studies on it. Or maybe we just need to let this sort itself out and to see, can women compete in gaming? I think they should be able to. Maybe they're just not playing enough. Like I said, I bet you this 16-year-old kid was playing non-stop all day, every day. And it's summertime now, so he's been cruising all summer just playing. So he was in the zone. And who knows? Is there a girl out there that's playing just as much? Though esports revenues are set to hit $1 billion this year, it remains a young and immature industry. And that's like what I said. Working out of best practices in terms of encouraging gender diversity is a challenge that will affect every publisher and event organizer in the world over the coming years if growth is to be maintained, even for the creators of the biggest entertainment franchise on the planet. One of the most moving moments in the Fortnite World Cup weekend was when a major esports team, FaZe Clan, introduced its newest signing and first ever female player, Ewoke. Yeah, she looks young. Looks mad young. Oh my god, kids are dominating esports. This isn't fair because I'm an adult and I have responsibilities. Down with the system. So silly. So silly. She's a little girl, man. Look at that. How old is she? She looks like she's 13. As esports get bigger and bigger, it would be tragic ways to replicate the institutional biases affecting traditional sports. Wow. It would be tragic to waste. It would be a tragic waste to replicate the institutional biases affecting traditional sports, where women are both represented less and paid less. Here we go. Here we go. We're gonna throw out markets. No one cares. No one cares that, like, for instance, the women's soccer, like I said before, made more as a percentage of total revenue than the men did, but the total revenue was less than what the men brought in. You can't fix that. You can't fix that. More people watch the men's sports. I mean, there's no institutional biases. It's just life, guys. It's just life. This is how the world works. If women's sports made $10 billion, the women would get paid more. If the men made less. You understand how that works? And you know what? If you disagree with everything I'm saying, comment down below. Because my comments have been filled with Ghost Recon talk and everybody's, friendly. You guys, you disagree with me? Comment down below. You want to have an on-stream, a debate about this? Toss me an email. We can set something up. We'll do a live stream about no, girls need to be represented, blah blah blah. Because you know what? It's one thing when it comes to politics that I try to stay out of. It's one thing when we're pushing things in the world that just don't make sense, as far as 100 people compete for something and the top 5 happen to be this type of people, and oh my god, that's sexist. None of this stuff makes sense. If the top 100 chess players are all men, the top 100 chess players are all men. Now take the greatest chess player in the world who's a woman, take the greatest chess player in the world who's a man, let them play each other, and if the man wins, so be it. If the woman wins, so be it. Stop trying to finagle stats where everything has to be equal. The world is not equal. It's never going to be equal. For instance, I am a certain height. I am a certain weight. My bone structure is built a certain way. Someone else is built differently, therefore excels at a certain sport. That is not equal. We're not even equal in the eyes of God. How can we be equal in anything else? It just doesn't make any sense. Save your social justice PC BS and leave it out of what we love to do, which is play video games. We don't want any of this political BS infesting our games. All right? And I had a video about this. I'll link it up here. I think it was about how Ubisoft's politics in its games aren't hitting what's going on in the world, because they want to stay away from that type of stuff. And more props to game developers who don't want to get involved in all of this PC BS that's going on in the world. We just want to play good games. We want them to make good games, and we don't want to be involved in any of your biases out there. And that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. Let me know how you guys feel about everything I said here. What do you think about this? About, the final game in Fortnite was just 100 guys, and do you see a problem with that? If you disagree with anything I said, if I ranted a little bit, let me know in the comments. I'm more than welcome to discuss things. Like I said, you have a channel, you have a YouTube channel, maybe you want to get, do a video together where we're discussing things about gaming and about stuff like this. Let me know. Hit me up. And that's it, guys, girls. I love you all. Get gaming. Don't worry about this type of stuff. Be the best gamer you can be. And most importantly, have fun while you're doing it. All right. That's all for now. I will see all of you in the next video. I love you guys and girls. Peace.